Alright, what's going on guys? I'm right here from Student Aesthetics, and in today's video I wanted to touch on another topic, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all have probably seen this before. It's just those people that have been going to the gym for ages, literally years, and keep looking the same every single summer or every single year. While I am in the gym 5 times a week and I see them every single time, and after years they haven't changed like a little bit, like they're exactly the same. And you're wondering like, how does this happen? But I actually know why it happens, and that's what I kind of want to talk about in this video. And this is also great advice for the new people on this channel, because you have to realize that I'm talking about people who have been training for a long time, all right, and not seeing results. So if you're just started, like, you're not going to see results very rapidly. But if you have literally been lifting for years and you haven't seen any results, you're doing something wrong. I can tell you that for sure. So what's the first problem with these people is that they're usually not tracking their diet. They usually don't know what kind of diet they even follow. They just eat probably the same thing, or they just eat whatever they want every single day. And what's the problem here is that they don't really know about bulking and cutting, gaining muscle and losing fat, or they simply don't understand how that works. But in order to actually build muscle and put muscle on your frame, you will have to be in a caloric surplus, all right? So this is very, very basic information, but I still want to share this with you guys. So in order to build muscle, you have to be in a caloric surplus, meaning you take in more calories than you are burning. And in order to lose fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit, meaning you will eat less calories than you are burning, all right? So that's very basic. But if you do not even understand such things, then you're not gonna see results, because this is what lifting is all about. It's about diet. And you will have to pick either of the two goals in order to be successful. So you always see people doing bulking phases and cutting phases, right? Now the only way you can really get ahead of this is by doing a recomp, which is usually not effective, and which I will discuss in another video sooner or later, definitely. But for those people that have been lifting for years, they need to take their time to build a solid amount of foundation of muscle mass. So they will have to be in a caloric surplus for at least some time. Like, you cannot be in a caloric deficit or at maintenance calories your whole life and expect to gain muscle. It doesn't work that way. So it's kind of crazy, but it actually is possible to be lifting 5 times a week, busting your ass, and still being exactly the same, simply because you're taking in exactly your maintenance calories. Because your body wants to stay the same, all right? So if you're eating exactly how your body wants you to eat, then nothing is gonna happen. You're not gonna put on any muscle mass, all right? And so the diet is usually the most important thing here. So that's basically the basics. You want to have those bulking and cutting phases. And if you are already lean, then you definitely want to bulk up first. If you're not lean yet, then cut down first. And after that, start a lean bulk. But the other thing I see is that those people basically go into the gym and they don't have a structured training routine. All right, that's something you see a lot as well. They just go in the gym, usually with some friends, and just get a workout in, get that pump, chase the pump, and then feel blown up and go home. And that's it, you know. They don't focus on progressive overload, which means putting more stress into your muscles through either more reps, using more weight, decreasing rest time, etc. I've talked about this before as well. But this video, I really just want to talk about the basics and why those people look exactly the same, because these are just the basics, the fundamentals that people still don't really seem to understand, all right? So the first one is diet, and then is training, just not progressing in your training. Nothing will happen if you don't progress, all right? Because you got to give your body a reason to grow. So you got to use more weights over time, because otherwise your body has no reason to grow, guys. Your body grows because it has to keep up with the amount of weight that you're using, right, in order to survive. It's really just a survival instinct. So you want to play around with that, guys. You want to increase, because otherwise nothing will happen. Now, if you're trying to lose fat, it's usually not really possible to increase in weights. And that's why you want to have those bulking phases and cutting phases, right? So if you eat more calories, you will be able to increase in your weights. And then when you're cutting, you will be able to maintain that. And so every time you cut down, you will have the same amount of strength, or just a little bit less than when you were bulking. And then you can start over again from there, right? And in this way, you will progress over the years. And that's just, it's so basic, guys, but I still notice that a lot of people don't understand this. And that's why I really need you guys to track your workouts, which is very important as well. And obviously a group workout routine is important as well. I've talked about the bro splits a lot. You can check out this video if you want to, or in the description box down below. I've talked about bro splits and how that also enables people to not make as much progress as they should be. But however, guys, if you are following a bro split and you are making progress, you will still gain muscle, right? If your diet is on point, all right? So if your diet is on point and you are following a bro split, you will still make progress. So those are just some small factors that will increase your progress as well. But if your diet is on point, you will usually make progress anyway. So diet is definitely number one. And that's also kind of the problem I see with those people that have been lifting for years. They kind of look at all the small adjustments they will have to make. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, what should I eat pre-workout, or what should I eat post-workout? What is the best meal to eat? While they don't really look at their daily targets in total, they just ask me about their pre-workout meal, all right? And they don't even track their macros or calories, so they don't even know what they take in per day, but they really want to focus on getting a certain amount of perfect nutrients on their pre-workout or post-workout meal. And that's the problem I see with those people, is that they focus on things that are so damn complicated and not really important. And they don't focus on the first things, the first important things, which is the basics about calories and macros, and the basics about lifting, basically. Tracking your workouts, etc. While they're doing a lot of drop sets and supersets in order to shock the muscles, but they're not actually tracking their workouts and making progress. All right, guys, so I want you all to stick to the basics first before asking me all those complicated questions that you should not really get into before you are very advanced, right? And you see, like a lot of these people, they look at those very complicated articles that are actually written by pro bodybuilders or whatever, but they still don't understand the basics. So you first got to get the foundation down, the basics, and slowly learn from there, right? That's how I started as well. Like, you cannot expect to learn the craziest amount of shit, the most complicated amount of shit, and then go back to the basics. It doesn't work that way. You got to start with the basics, guys. So yeah, my advice basically for this video is for you guys that have been lifting for years and still not making progress. First, get your diet down, all right? Learn about the basics of gaining muscle and losing fat, caloric surplus and caloric deficit, all right? That is basically the most important thing you want to know if you start getting to lifting. And it's something you can learn within a few hours. It's not that hard, really. And then you want to track your workouts. You want to make progress in your lifts, all right, during your bulking phase. And then during your cutting phase, you want to lose fat and maintain that strength, or even gain a little bit of strength. Usually that's still a little bit possible. Those are really the most important things, guys. If you follow these two things, you will definitely make progress. And then the last thing is basically that it takes a lot of time, but you guys already know that because you've been lifting for years and not seeing any progress. So yes, it takes a lot of time, but if you're doing it properly, you will see results. Within definitely 12 weeks, you will see some results. So yeah, guys, that was basically my whole point with this video, is to start with the basics before looking into all this complicated stuff that really is not important. That will maybe be 10% of the total progress, and you're missing out on 90% of the progress, which will leave you with basically zero progress, because that 10% is not enough to do anything significant, right? Because it takes a lot of time. So just stick with the basics and start from there, learn slowly from there, but stick with the basics. And I know that the problem is really all the misleading information on the internet. Like, I can't stress it enough how many false information is on the internet. So if you start getting into lifting and you start searching for different articles, you get so many misleading information bullshit. Like, it drives me completely crazy to see that, right? Because fitness, it is not that complicated. It is actually pretty goddamn simple. And I see a lot of people miss that point, and a lot of people jump into it like way too deep, and like that hinders them from getting results. And it drives me kind of mad that there's so many false information on the internet, so many pro bodybuilder routines that are just not effective for us naturals, and these diet programs that are cookie cutter as fuck. Like, it doesn't make sense. So if you guys do not know how to start, then I recommend going to my website and checking out my programs, if you can afford it, obviously. If you don't, then simply do what I say and start off with the basics and get it right from there, guys, because you will learn over the time, and you will learn more and more, and you'll get there. So that was basically my point with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are gonna make some gains in the future right now with this information. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you guys for watching again, and peace out. See you in the next video.